Hi flosstube, it's Diane. Today is February 15th, 2019, and I thought I'd do an update video. I kind of play with the lighting. In this room, it doesn't matter what I do with the lighting, it's... So let's talk stitching. I have a little bit of everything. What else is new? Stash, number 7, Have Faith, Cottage Garden Samplings. I think I've butchered her name several times. I always want to call it Country Garden, but it's Cottage Garden Samplings, and this is number 7. I recently paid the invoice. I'm on an auto ship thing through Crazy Annie's, and I did pay the invoice for number 8. I can't remember the name of that one. And this is Miss Ginkgo and Glittering Leaves. The latest. It was funny when Marie sent these to me from Just Add Needles. I'll link her below. She put these in tear-free envelope. Considering what my dogs did to the one set, that was kind of funny. I've also had a chance to do some sewing. So I've had these cut apart for a while and partially, assembled. So I finished them, and then the tension went wonky on my sewing machine, and I think what it is I need to rethread it. I have 2 more bags to finish, but it's got kind of a green with a gold sparkle, and this is the main. And no, I am not selling these. I admire those who take the time to make these for all of us to purchase. These are the ones I made for myself. And these are actual names of quilt shops in the US and somewhere in Canada. Or at least they were. I don't know if they're open like right now. Oh, there's a European quilter. Oops, sorry. Here's a European one. Louisville, Manitoba, Great Britain, Newfoundland, Labrador. So these were actual names of quilt shops. Whether they're open today, I don't know. And this one, a red interior, and then kind of trees and holly berries. And this guy, kind of green trees and then stones. Because I had an idea of doing a project. We like the game Settlers of Catan, so stone, forest. But so this is kind of different colored spots. And then kind of a paisley, but a little more modern, I think. And stars and stripes. And again, trees and brick. So I was going to do a Settlers of Catan thing, and I just didn't do it. Cream and butterflies. And this one actually has a project in it. Let me pull the project. Oh, this isn't the project I wanted to show. Oh, I wanted to show that. That's why I have it out. This is kind of almost a Celtic design on this red. You can see there's kind of these ovals. And then trees and birds. I tried to put my family tree piece in here, but I'd made the bag just a wee bit too small. It's okay, I made them. This fabric's all from my stash. And so I just bought some zippers, and I've just been making them. This is the one that shows me that I have to re-thread my machine. I don't want to have to take this all apart, but I do. I only have to take these 2 seams apart. The top seam, while it's not too straight, so don't look too close, it is fine. And then give thanks in the middle. And then this one, patriotic stars. So those 2 I need to finish, but I got so frustrated. Threading the bobbin on my machine, or winding the bobbin on this machine, is weird. It's very different for me. But I did those finishes. This is a mini finish because I'm doing the drawn thread, the seasons, I'm doing it like this with all 4, except I'm starting up here with winter. And so I actually have winter finished. And this is 36 count, picture this plus fog. And so here, winter is done. I am not necessarily using the called for colors. I know that the letters, these letters I think, yeah, these ones that say winter, it's really, I have a strobe light action going here. This color is called Cucumber. It's the called for color. I happen to have it in my stash, so I used it, and the same color in the tree and the roof. The white I used is just B5200. I don't like the color chalk. I don't like Gentle Arts chalk. I don't like that color. It's very inconsistent, skein to skein to skein, batch to batch to batch, and I just don't like it. Personal thing. If you like it, go for it. But the other colors I pulled from my overdyeds. So everything else but the B5200 is an overdyed floss. It just isn't the called for. And that's what I'm going to do on the other season. So the next season I'll do is spring. And that one is this one here. So I need to pull the colors for this one. I have dried thyme. And wood trail, I think I have a couple of them. The others I'll just pull something similar. But the house is white. I wonder what color that one is. Roasted marshmallow. I'll use B5200, or I will pull from my own overdyes. I have Carrie's collection, not the entire collection, but I have a number of them. I have a lot of Gast, a lot of Weeks, some Crescent colors, and just some miscellaneous that I've picked up over time. Let me find the picture for this. Interesting. Family tree. This is by Thistles in Netherlands. And I'm adding 6 cottages here. So essentially I'm taking this row and stitching it again in a whole different order. And that becomes key when you see what I have finished. Last time I showed this piece, I was working on cottage, technically cottage number 1. This one. This is a big piece of fabric. You gotta kind of wrestle it a little bit. Give me just a second so I can wrestle it. There it is. So it is finished. So this is my oldest child. And I have been working, I decided to go down. And so this one is mini dots. And again, there's no row down here, so I'm adding them. And this is the one that I'm stitching there for mini dot. So I have most of the white done. There's the white fence, and then the date is in white. And if you would do this pattern, obviously the dates would be different. So you do the date first, and then you fill in with, in this case it's a green. Over here it's a white, but in this case it's a green. So you do the date first so you can change it to whatever you want, and then fill it in. And then the initials. On my oldest son's, the initials were vertical, and there were only 2 of them. So what I did on his is I changed them to horizontal, and that changed the heart. There were supposed to be 2 hearts over here, so I just put 1 heart in. I thought of putting another heart over here, but I think it would look weird if I did that. But I like it. I think it looks good. And this one for mini dot, some cottages I just click and just go with it, and that's what I'm doing on this one. So I should have Mini Dot's cottage finished by the end of the month. And those are my only, so it's a mini finish. Oh, so sorry. I might have to edit that out. I wasn't planning on editing this video. Holy smokes. So sorry. So sorry. So you got a view of under the sewing cabinet. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? That's why I'm an amateur at this. The piece, I was supposed to start Castle Walls by Ink Circles. I was supposed to start that pattern on January 25th. Excuse me, 29th, the last Tuesday of January. I did not. That was the day of my daughter's oncologist appointment. And I'll talk about that in a few minutes. And then we had 30 below. We had it for 2 days in a row, and then the third day was only 20 below. So needless to say, our van did not start because we did not get a block heater put on it yet. It's going to get done before next winter. But yeah, it was miserable cold. Things don't work when it's that cold. Not to mention we have had so much snow. We haven't had a winter like this in a few years, and it's not global climate change. That's junk science. It is the normal cycles of winter in Minnesota. We got a few mild ones, and then we get to remind us why we live in Minnesota. I did have to laugh, though, when I saw a news report from Florida telling people to dress in layers and limit their exposure outside because it was going to be a whole 52 degrees above zero. But you guys make fun of us. You guys in the South, you make fun of us when we complain about 80 degrees. So, yeah, it all comes around. Today, the temperature's not bad today. It's the wind chill. Yesterday I got back about 10:30 and there was no wind. It was about 19 above. Kids were playing outside. And it was fine. And then we started playing a game. And about noon, the flurries that were supposed to have snow flurries, well, they hit, but also so did some really, really strong cold winds. So it was whiteout conditions in like 10 minutes. It was just nuts. But for some reason I didn't start that piece that day. I got so, everything was going on and you know, just life, you get busy. So I haven't started that one yet, and I haven't started any of the other ones that I have fully kitted ready to start. And I have a couple that I need to pull the threads for so I can start them. But that's okay. They'll get started. I'm not worried about it. So I have no new starts aside from that cottage, Mini Dots cottage for this month. But this is the piece. Now I'm doing the Year of Whips 2019, and then I'm doing the Year of Whips Extreme. The Year of Whip Extreme is you take the day that you were born during the month, and I'm born on July 21st. So you add that many more projects to a list. So for me, it's 21. I have no problem doing 21 projects or adding 21 projects. Y'all know if you've watched my channel a while. Hold for a moment, please. I was at the hospital yesterday, and with you know, the air in hospitals is so dry. And not to mention, it's just winter here in Minnesota, and we have dry, dry air at this time of year. Been putting a lot of Stitching Safe lotion on. But when I was putting my list together for the extremes, and I'm not going to show all of those, the extreme list, which is different than the regular list. So I have 18 on the regular list and 21 on the extreme list. I took pictures of everything, and this one called out to me. And it is Venetian Opulence by Mirabilia. She stitched on 32 count Joblin. Water Lily is the name of the color. It is not as Weigart, so I'm not sure what company. Maybe Witchelt. But this is what I had done prior to starting. I have not done any beading or any metallic. And there's only one metallic in this pattern, the gold. So her headband is mostly metallic. Oh, there's no back stitching either. But I had this already completed to about here. And so she just called to me and called to me and called to me while I finished up that cottage from my oldest son. And so now, this is what I've finished. I had I had like this section of the green done, a little bit of this blue here, but I've been able to add all this green, all this blue here, a lot of this 3371, my favorite DMC color. But I've added all of, this is as far down as she goes, so this is the end. But I've added all of this, which is the arch at the bottom down here, right here. So, yeah, now you have to realize if you look at this closely, from about this point down, that is full coverage. There are some beads on the green, and I think on this pink-purple band, but everything else is solidly stitched. So yeah, it's a little slower than other patterns, but I'm loving the results, and it's still calling to me, so I'm going to still work on it. But I've added she's a narrow piece, but she's really long. I've added all this 3371 in here and down in here. Some of this is 3371 and some of it is, it's a really dark blue. I think it's 939. I will say though, you know, it had been a while since I picked her up. I did not stitch on her at all in 2018. I did stitch on her a little bit yesterday at the hospital, in the cottage yesterday at the hospital. I know I did not stitch on her at all in 2018. I cannot remember 2017. I know I did stitch on her in 2016, but of course then I had a baby at the end of 2016, and so stitching changed. Patterns that were calling to me changed when Minnie Dot was such a little baby. But yeah, she just called to me, and what I'd like to do by the end of the month is get like halfway here, so all of this is stitched here, and then, you know, in March work on this part, so I can see her being done sooner than later. And I have to finish the part of our fan and go down. Because I did not mark my pattern prior to pulling her out after not working on her for a while, I've had to go back and kind of, okay, this color, this symbol, and then go through, check my finished piece with the chart to see what I stitched and what I didn't. This, you know, I started her before I had as many whips as I do now. So when I have whips, I make working copies now and mark off as I go. Didn't used to do that. That way I can get into the pattern quicker when I pull it. Yeah, and I think that's all the stitching. Yes, I saw the new Nora, the blue December blue topaz fairy, and yes, I am ordering her. And of course, then there's the new designer, Bella Filipina. Yeah, my wish list just grew when Marie from Just Add Needles showed that. But happening aside from the weather, I'm so tired of winter. Usually in Minnesota, yes, we go down, but then we go back up to like 30s. Just you know, it's a few days here and then goes down. But it allows everything to be scraped and done and to the side. We haven't had that. We have not hit above 25 for a month at least where I live. And we were 30 below. That was the air temperature. That was not wind chill. And I know in northern Minnesota, because we live outside of the Twin Cities area, if you look at a map, you have the Twin Cities down here. There's a lot of Minnesota up here. They were 60 below at temperature. This is Fahrenheit, yes, but still, that's cold. And yeah, we haven't had a chance really to scrape our driveway. Our driveway is horrible. But it will melt. I know that. Preparing for my 6th child to graduate from our home school. So that's, I ordered his diploma and that came yesterday. It's kind of weird to think that he's going to be graduating. When he was born, he was very, very sick his first week of life, and we did not think we would take him home from the hospital. But God healed him. My husband and I are going to take a trip to go and visit our Marine. We're combining a trip for him along with our anniversary. We don't do a huge Valentine's Day thing because, let's admit, some of the prices are just a ripoff. If you're truly committed and love somebody, you need to acknowledge it more than once a year. Just saying. But it is a fun thing. You know, it's fun because, especially in the middle of winter, when there's not much else going on, in the States, there's not much else going on, it is kind of nice to have a holiday just to kind of break things up. But we don't do a huge thing because our anniversary is March 14th. Chose the 14th because February 14th, everybody's going to tell you about it, so the 14th would be stuck in your head for March. But we are going to combine visiting our Marine with just the two of us getting away, which is weird because we're at that point where, you know, our older children can watch our younger children very well, competently. I trust them. And it's just weird to be in that stage of life. It's nice, but it's going to take some getting used to. So we're taking a trip, so I'm trying to get all the details lined up there. We will be gone for 5 days. So we haven't taken a trip that long away from the kids in quite some time. Definitely not since Minnie Dot's been born. But our Marine's doing well. He's enjoying his classes. He's on track to graduate end of June. And I do want to say in the last video I talked about our friends who lost their son. And so many of you said you would pray for them, pray for everybody, because it really has impacted our entire church. I'm so glad that you did that. Some of you told some stories that were very personal, and it's nice to have a place that you can share this kind of thing. It's still sad, and he's still very missed. And his mom posted on Facebook about missing him today, and yeah, it really breaks my heart that the whole thing happened. But I thank so many of you for your kind comments. I've not started the memorial piece yet. I'm thinking, because it's on 36 count, I like one strand coverage on 36 count. Some people do not, but I do. But his favorite color is black, and a majority of that design is going to be black, and DMC black one strand doesn't give good coverage. I have tried Anchor, and I've had horrible experience with Anchor floss. I know some of you love it, and if you do, great, but I've had really bad experience with Anchor floss. Specifically Anchor black. And it could be I had a bad skein, but I tried it 2 strands, 1 strand, loop method, not loop method, with thread heaven, without thread heaven, brand new needle. Tried several needles actually, and it broke every 2 inches. I was like, no. So my middle daughter and I are going to go to Stitchville tomorrow. We have a chance to go to Stitching Group in Minnetonka. And last month I went to the one in Woodbury, and this month I'm going to the one in Minnetonka. So we'll go by Stitchville, and I might try Anchor Black again. I was also thinking the Pearl Cotton number 12, and you could just pull it off the ball and just use it. That might work really well too. But I'm going to just kind of see what other fibers that Stitchville has and find a good solid black. And for that particular piece, I can't remember which overdyed floss it calls for, but they want 17 skeins. And that is 1 strand. Or is that 2 strands? I think it's 2 strands over 2 threads. 17. Because the overdyes, they're 5 yards a piece. At least the ones that Stitchville sells. Because I know some are available in more yardage at other distributors. No. So I'll find something. But yesterday was my daughter's PET scan. and I'm going to show you my journal page. If you can't read my writing, that says cancer free. We got the call last night about 7 p.m. from the doctor. She had reviewed it. She had no, the radiologist reviewed it. She reviewed it. She had another one review it. And so, yes, it's gone. I think I slept better last night than I have in such a long time. I went to the dentist last week, and I have to get fillings. The joy of being older. But also I think I've ground my teeth because of all of the stress. Stress hits you very, very differently, and it hits everybody very differently. But yeah, she called me in tears, and I'm like, oh no, no. And she said, it's gone. I'm done. It's gone. And she scheduled the port removal for next week. She's done. And it just feels so good. I slept in today. I'm like, we're not doing school today. We have a day. We're just chilling. I thank so many of you for praying for her, praying for our family. So many of you sent cards, and she was so encouraged by those cards. Oh, she was. Some of you sent cards to me, and I was so encouraged by it, and it just feels so good. She's cancer. At some point, we'll do some kind of celebration. But her and her friends, they're rescheduling their trip that they had to put off because of her chemotherapy. And I wish I could remember the airline that they went through, because the airline, they didn't have the package where you can make changes easily. It was like you buy it, you're done. And they did that, and then 2 weeks later, this was all discovered. And they went back to the airline. One of the girls went back to the airline and told them what was going on, and the airline, for like $50 a person, there's 4 going, $50 for them, each person, and they just switched it. And they put it as an open date as long as it's used in a whole calendar year. I wish I could tell you what airline did that, because I am one that when you get good customer service, I want everybody to know. I wish I could tell you. But there are some really nice companies out there and people out there that when things happen, they are willing to work with you. But she's cancer-free. Yay. I'm going to buy her a necklace celebrating that. I want to buy her, I want fireworks and balloons and everything, but I'm not going to do that. But yeah, she's cancer-free. But I'm going to let y'all go. I don't know when I'll do my next update video. It'll be whenever it is. If you have any questions, you can leave them below. My email is below. My Instagram is below. It's mondotstitches@gmail is my email. And Instagram is just mondotstitches, all lowercase. Although I don't know if that really matters in Instagram. But I will let y'all go, and I will talk to you when I talk to you.